I think that government research of all types in the medical and
Including
public-
birthing people?
I think bench research of all types plays a fundamental
What is a
role.
birthing person?
Sir, I am here to talk about the DOGE impact.
Well, I'm
for
asking
working
you about this
families.
grant and you're defending it. So I'm asking you, who is birthing people?
I am not familiar with this grant.
Mm-hmm.
I take a position that all kinds of government research, medical,
Is a
pharmaceutical,
birthing person a woman? Is that another
biological,
word for female?
That is outside the scope of my expertise.
Seems like erasure language to me. I've been told that type of vernacular constitutes erasure language. How about another one?
Washington delivered another flashpoint moment today as Congressman Brandon Gill went head-to-head with a policy witness over controversial federal spending cuts tied to DOGE, turning what should have been a technical budget discussion into a broader cultural and political reckoning over how taxpayer money is used.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It never gets boring in here. And I'd like to say thank you to the witnesses for being here and for taking the time. Ms. DiVito, thank you for coming here. In your testimony, you said that Americans deserve a government that works for them, a government that makes their lives easier and more secure. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Great. I'd like to read through a couple of the grants that DOGE has pulled back, and I'd like to get your take on them. They pulled back a $1.5 million NIH grant to Morehouse College. It was called the Center to Advance Reproductive Justice and Behavioral Health among Black, pregnant / postpartum women and birthing people. Do you think that makes Americans' lives easier and more secure?
I think that medical and scientific research of all types.
Do you think that
benefits-
constitutes critical research? According to your testimony, NIH grants are critical research,
I think that government research of all types in the medical and
including
public-
birthing people?
I think bench research of all types plays a fundamental
What is a
role.
birthing person?
Sir, I am here to talk about the DOGE impact.
Well, I'm
for
asking
working
you about this
families.
grant and you're defending it. So I'm asking you, who is birthing people?
I am not familiar with this grant.
Mm-hmm.
I take a position that all kinds of government research, medical,
Is a
pharmaceutical,
birthing person a woman? Is that another
biological-
word for female?
That is outside the scope of my expertise.
Seems like erasure language to me. I've been told that type of vernacular constitutes erasure language. How about another one? How about the conference, Gender Equity in the Mathematical Study of Commutative Algebra? Do you think that that's a valid form of government spending?
I think mathematical research of all types is deserving of government.
What about
investment.
studying, and this is directly from the National Science Foundation's website, women and non-binary mathematicians?
Again, I think all kinds of government investment should be dedicated toward mathematical.
All kinds of government investment.
scientific-
You don't have any kind of limit on what we're spending our money on? Just everything? Is that your testimony?
I am talking about DOGE. You brought up.
So am I. This is a grant that DOGE cut.
I am not familiar with this particular grant, but I think government investment in mathematical, biological.
Okay. Let's do another one. This one is called #Transcendent Health, adapting an LGB plus inclusive teen pregnancy prevention program for transgender boys. I can't even say this without laughing. Do you think that is a useful form of our tax spend?
I am not familiar with that grant, but I think bench research, government investment in scientific and
Teen
pharmaceutical
pregnancy
research.
for transgender boys. Do you think that is a useful spend of our tax dollars?
I think government investment in all kinds of scientific research is of the utmost importance.
Including pregnancy prevention for transgender boys. Okay. Let me ask you, we can come back to this later maybe. Do you support abolishing the filibuster still?
I am here to talk about DOGE respectfully.
Right.
and
We could abolish the filibuster and get a lot of DOGE cuts through. And you've written at length on your Twitter about abolishing the filibuster. I'm just curious if you think that we should do that still.
I did a lot of previous work on different topics because I am an economic policy expert, and respectfully, I'm here to talk about DOGE cuts.
Okay, but we could abolish the filibuster and get DOGE cuts. This is totally germane here. Do you think we should?
I am here to talk about DOGE cuts, not strategies for achieving more of them, but the harms that they have produced for working families.
That's a convenient change of opinion. I noticed that most of your comments about the filibuster were during the Biden administration. But we can move on. Let's go back to some more of these grants. Do you think that we should be spending money on, quote, the racialized basis of trait judgments from faces?
I am not at all familiar with that grant.
It's a $500,000 NSF grant.
Okay, I am not familiar with the subject matter or the
But
particular
you're
grant.
defending these.
I am saying that I think the government
You're pretty
has-
adamant against DOGE cuts, and I'm asking you if you support the cuts
I think that
that
there
DOGE
is
has found.
economic and medical, public health, communal benefit to
What
the
about
government
cross-sex
investing in.
steroid therapy and cardiovascular risk in the transgender female?
Again, I think government investment in scientific research is
Great.
important.
Thank you for your testimony. I appreciate it.
What unfolded was not just a debate about grants, but a clear clash between two worldviews, one demanding strict limits and accountability, the other defending government-funded research almost without boundaries. If you want clear breakdowns like this without the spin, make sure you subscribe. At the center of the exchange was whether pulling back federal grants actually harms Americans or protects them. Gill pressed the witness on grants tied to race-based health programs, gender-focused academic conferences, and research aimed at niche identity groups, questioning whether any of this genuinely makes life more secure for the average citizen. Rather than drawing lines, the witness repeatedly defended nearly all government research in principle, even when unable to explain or define the programs themselves. To many watching, that hesitation mattered because defending spending without understanding it is exactly what fuels public distrust. For more straight talk on how Washington really works, subscribe. The exchange also exposed a deeper issue that goes beyond dollars and cents, language and priorities. Gill zeroed in on terminology that many Americans feel erases basic biological reality, while the witness declined to engage, framing the questions as outside her scope. That avoidance became the story. When policymakers and experts refuse to address plain language concerns, it reinforces the sense that everyday voters are being talked around instead of talked to. Whether one agrees with the cuts or not, accountability starts with clarity. If you value clarity over jargon, subscribe. Finally, the moment shifted from spending to power as Gill highlighted the witness's past support for abolishing the filibuster, pointing out the political convenience of opposing procedural changes only after control of Congress shifted. That pivot underscored a larger truth in modern politics. Principles often seem flexible when power is on the line. My view is simple. If the government wants public trust, it cannot demand unlimited funding, vague definitions, and selective consistency all at once. Transparency and restraint are not radical ideas. They are prerequisites for democracy. For continued coverage that cuts through the noise, subscribe.